Welcome to the Plant Your Flag method, how to write a book that establishes you as the best in the world at what you do. Now, in the previous 4 modules, we've helped you find your flag. We've determined which book you should write first. We've even helped you to find your USP, your unique selling proposition, your superpower, and we've helped you to outline that book. Now, before we get to writing, we want to tackle FAQs and SAQs, frequently asked questions and should asked questions. I know that's not a proper sentence, but the SAQ thing goes with the FAQ. Stick with me here. All right, so what are the 10 most frequently asked questions or pushback points that your most valuable prospect will have? No matter how detailed you've been with your process, there are always going to be pushback points, or there will be areas that really require more clarity. What you want to do is actually anticipate what those top 10 questions are and answer them in your book. Okay? So Google is a wonderful source for finding FAQs in your niche, in your industry. I did a quick Google search, for example, on FAQs for investing in the stock market. Here's another one, FAQs about relationship counseling, or FAQs about finding love, FAQs about buying a car. There are lots of different ways to find frequently asked questions. The second thing you want to do in this module is the SAQs. Those should ask questions. What are the questions that your customer doesn't even know they ought to be asking, right? But you know they should probably ask anyway. The exceptions. Maybe your process works for 80 or 90% of scenarios, but there's a 10%, there's a 20% that your process might need to be modified for. What are those exceptions? The lack of resources questions. What happens when an MVP doesn't have the necessary resources to execute the steps you've outlined? What if they don't have the necessary time, or there's a lack of know-how? Maybe they don't have a certain basic set of knowledge that is required to execute your steps. What about the mental roadblock questions? They have everything. They've got the resources, the time, the money, the know-how, but maybe based on things that happened in their past, they're unable to mentally get through the process. What are some of the pitfalls? So the MVP maybe is executing, they're going down the path, working through the steps, but at a certain point, there's a danger area where a lot of people fail. Anticipate those should ask questions, list them out, come up with 10 of them, and address them. So this is another module that is simple, but it's not necessarily easy. Number one, we want you to come up with the 10 frequently asked questions that your MVP will have. And to do that, you can use Google. Find out what FAQs people have already put out there, collate questions, and then answer them in your own words. And secondly, come up with 10 questions that your MVP should be asking, but perhaps doesn't even know to ask. This is the Plant Your Flag method, how to write a book that establishes you as the best in the world at what you do. We just went through Module 5, FAQs and SAQs, so I want you to rewind this video, take a look at the examples, come up with 10 frequently asked questions and 10 questions that they should be asking. And I'll see you in Module 6, Why This Book?